How's it going, guys? My name is Michael, and today we're going to be talking about how you can increase your character's damage substantially by using a very overlooked method in the game. And I'm talking about artifacts. Artifacts is probably the most important thing that you can do to increase damage on your character. And the reason why is because you can add all kinds of boosts to your character with 5 different artifacts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop in and I'm going to show you exactly the differences between a character with artifacts leveled up and a character without artifacts leveled up, and you'll be able to see a substantial damage increase with those artifacts. I'm also going to explain set bonuses and how they affect different types of characters and how you can implement them to those different types of characters to get the most out of those bonuses. Now, I know the artifact system looks very intimidating at first glance. Trust me, when I first booted up the game and I looked at this, I was like, man, it's super confusing. There's so many different things that you can add to those characters, from different set bonuses to just different percentage increases for each type of artifact. There's a ton of information, and it takes a minute to kind of understand it and kind of figure out what works best with what type of character. And so it took me a while to kind of understand it, but as you can see here, I'm looking at Xiangling and I have 5 different artifacts added to her, and a lot of them are, as you can see here in the top right, they're geared towards attack. And the reason why is because she's an attack type of character. She's going to be my main damage dealer, and the reason why is because her damage per second, or your DPS, hers is extremely high. She attacks very rapidly and she can do a ton of damage within a short amount of time. And so I'm taking advantage of that with these different types of artifacts. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to actually take these artifacts off of her. We're going to go attack a couple of bosses out there, just different types of characters out in the wild, and then we'll come back, we'll add the artifacts back, and I'll show you exactly the differences between her with the artifacts and her without the artifacts. That way you can kind of see exactly how much of a difference these things add to your characters. So I took the artifacts off of Xiangling. As you can see, she has nothing. She has nothing added to her HP, attack, defense, or elemental mastery, or anything. She has no additional stats added to her character. So as you can see, these are her base stats. So let's go ahead and go attack one of these little guys over here, and I'll show you exactly how much damage she does. So as you can see, she does 93, 329, so it looks like her base is 93. She does some 47s and some 50s and things like that in there. So that's pretty much where she's at. Okay, so I've added the artifacts back, and as you can see, she has massive stat boosts based off of these 5 different artifacts that, by the way, are not even fully leveled up. They're only level 8. So now let's go ahead and go attack one of those guys and see how much damage she does now. 292, 669. Look at that. 190, 117, 292. So we basically effectively doubled, almost tripled her attack power just by adding those level 8 artifacts that were geared towards attack. And that's massive. That is with, again, with her maxed out weapon, with her maxed out attributes for her level, which is level 50, and she's got a level 50 halberd here. When you take out just the artifacts, that is a massive amount of difference. You went from having less than 100 on some of those attacks to now doing 300 to almost 200 on just your normal attacks. So that is a massive increase for her based off of just artifacts. So obviously the first thing that you want to look at when you're adding artifacts to a character is figuring out over here, say for instance on this 3-star Berserker's Bone Goblet that I have, it's level 8, and I think I can go up to level 12 with this one since it is a 3-star. As you can see here, I'm looking at this top right here, which is attack. So on some of them, as you can see, it'll have defense, or on others you'll have bonus physical damage, or you'll have cryo damage bonus. You'll have just different types of things that go along with that artifact. So you want to make sure that you're adding the correct artifact to your character. So if, for instance, you want to have a ton of attack power, you want to make sure that this one's gearing towards attack, whether it be the attack percentage or just attack overall. You want to make sure that that's what you're adding to your character. Or if you want it to have a lot of defense and it's going to be a very defensive player, you want to make sure that you add an artifact with defense. Another thing to pay attention to as well are these little sub subcategories. So for instance, as you can see here, this one has plus 2.5% on your health, or this one also has plus 3.9% on an energy recharge, and then plus 1.9% on crit rate. So these get added to it. You'll get additional little subcategories here as you level up your artifact. I think at level 4 it adds one, and at level 8 it also adds another one, and the more you level it up, it'll actually increase some of those rates. And that's super important, because if you can find an artifact that has, say for instance, attack, let me see if I can find one here. So here's a good example. So the martial arts feather accessory, on this one, as you can see, it has an attack increase of 137, and then also down here in its subcategory it has a plus 3.7%. so not only am I getting an additional 137 attack, I'm also multiplying that by times 3.7%. so I'm getting a massive damage increase because of the subcategory and the attack at the same time. And then if you add that along with a two-piece type set, like for instance this one is the Berserker, I get a crit rate percentage of plus 12%. It adds up so quick. Your crit rate goes up, your attack goes up, the attack percentage, it just adds on and adds on. You can go all the way up to like 10 times your attack power with just adding the correct artifacts. So if you go and farm some of those different like dungeons and stuff, like let me back out here and I'm gonna pull them up in my little book. So for instance, if you go to like a different domain or a different boss and you farm different types of artifacts that have different, things, like for instance here I can go and farm these different types of level 4 artifacts or 4-star artifacts. If you go out and do some digging and do a little bit of hunting and do a little bit of research into what artifacts you need to add to certain types of characters, you can make a character so strong in this game just off of artifacts, because they multiply that damage so quickly. So that's why I really wanted to dig down and talk to you guys about this, because artifacts are kind of overlooked in my opinion. I've seen a lot of people playing without artifacts, or just not even leveled up artifacts, and it's a big mistake, because you can add so much damage and so much potential to your team by just adding the correct type of artifacts to your characters. Also, one more thing I want to say before I end the video. When you're farming those artifacts, you need to pay attention to your adventure rank. Your adventure rank is going to determine what type of artifacts or what type of level of artifacts that you're going to get in those different domains or the different boss fights and things like that. So if you're not finding a lot of 4-star artifacts or 5-star artifacts, it's probably because your adventure rank is a little too low. So just make sure that you're getting your adventure rank up as soon as possible or as quickly as possible. That way you can get the better type of gear for your character. And if you want to know how to get your adventure rank up quickly, just make sure you go check out my other video. I'll link it up here in the top right of the screen. That way you guys can go and figure out exactly how to level up in Genshin Impact, because it takes a while. It's a very grindy type of game, so just make sure you go check it out. And also guys, if you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, make sure you hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, great night, wherever you are, and until next time, peace out.